All right, welcome back to the Star Ladder Hearthstone season kickoff. We're just done casting Firebat versus Strifecrow. Pretty intense series, was a best of five, and we're about to get into Amaz versus Lostov. So again, a very unknown player. Up until now, I don't think anybody really knows much about him.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have really much information about Lostov apart from the fact that he's playing a lot of ladder, and that's it. And well, we know that he beat Xixo and Orange in the group stage. He went 2-0 in the group stage, and he's the only qualified player from the open bracket that is actually out of the group. I mean, by out, I mean in the positive way.
Right, like out of the group stage. After the group stage, all the people who qualified through the open qualifier ended up getting knocked out by the established names, basically. And he's the only
Yeah.
one who remains. And he got through by beating Xixo convincingly and also Orange convincingly, 3-2. So it was really it might be an upset here. I mean, he might beat Amaz. Again, he must be getting a pretty good confidence boost from having made it through the group stage in a group with very experienced players. We'll have to see exactly how that pans out for him. But we do have the classes for both players, and they are playing the exact same thing. Druid,
That's
Mage,
actually true.
Warlock. Both of them
Yeah.
are playing the exact same lineup. Druid, Mage, Warlock. Now, there may be variants, though, in the archetypes.
Well, as we said before, Warlock is really wide when it comes to the decks that you can pick. Mage has also a few archetypes. I even saw some mech mages on the ladder again, you know. And then when it comes to the druid, well, basically there's only one archetype of druid, and the differences between the deck list is those are really like small. I saw some players using scenarios instead of Ragnaros. Some were using Ancient of War instead of Ragnaros, and stuff like that. So apart um, from those single cards, the druid decks are like really
Very
similar to
standard.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a lot of things for like Blizzard's gonna have to do a lot to modify the way druids play. Before we see a new druid archetype, I think it's gonna to stem away from Savage Roar at least, without going into ramp with a combo. Even ramp druid usually plays a very like at least one combo. They would have to change a lot of things. So for a long time, we're still probably gonna see the same type of stuff. Actually, we just saw Lostov is on a team. He's actually on Team Hellraisers. We were
Oh yeah,
talking about
right.
this a bit earlier, where Amaz is obviously on Team Archon. I don't know the team, but if he actually makes it through the tournament, that's going to raise attention to the team
Well,
itself.
Hellraisers is really known when it comes to Counter Strike.
Yeah, but
So
not to Hearthstone though. Like
yeah,
it's kind of
definitely
like
not.
they have a Hearthstone division that just doesn't really have a big representation, as far as I'm aware.
This is his chance to shine like a
Yeah,
diamond. Yeah, well,
they don't shine, they refract. Don't even try, Lothar. Don't try. I know
that
my
was a
physics.
quote. That was a quote, man, from a
What
pop
is?
song.
Yeah, I know, but they don't shine. I don't know how she came up with that conclusion. Who made that song for her? I need to talk to them. Oh man,
You better do.
diamonds
Yeah, reach them
shining.
on Twitter.
Yeah, Harryana, I'd like to let you know that the diamonds, they don't shine. They actually refract, and here's how it goes. Oh man, I'm gonna get sued. Now, I just want to know, like, if you look at the same lineups, right? Druid Mage Warlock, the classes. I think we're at the point in Hearthstone where we almost have to start breaking down class like the picks by archetype. Like we just don't know enough about classes at this point. With four possible archetypes, talking about hey, what do you think is going to do better versus the opponent? In this case, it's a mirror match. Basically, they're all playing the same classes. But if one is playing Headlock, where the other one is playing Zoo, or one is playing Freeze Mage, where one is playing Mech Mage or Tempo Mage, that does change things around.
Yeah, it does, definitely does. But at the same time, when you even see a mirror match between handlocks, it can go like way different because of handlocks can be really teched out against each other too. Like if someone doesn't play a big game hunter, an example. Well, I mean, I don't think it's really that popular to not play big game hunter, but
Yeah.
I guess you got what I mean. Like there are so many tech cards like the double shadow flame, someone plays one shadow flame, then we have a Sylvanas, maybe no Sylvanas, an emperor or no emperor, and this can change a lot when it comes to the matchups, to the mirror
All right.
matches.
So we got a correction from the admins who apparently had it done wrong. Basically, it is not going to be a complete mirror match. Apparently, Lostov is not going to be playing his mage. Instead, he decided to bring his hunter. So it's going to be
Oh,
Druid Hunter Warlock versus Druid Mage Warlock. So there is going to be a distinction there in the way that they will approach the way they're going to play. Hunter again, a pretty solid deck against just about everything that Amaz brought.
that's true. Well, do you think that it will be mid-range? Most players are like leaning towards the mid-range hunter right now. So I guess
I mean,
this might be it, right?
If Amaz brought Zoo, that's going to get a bit of an edge over the mid-range hunter by quite a long shot, and I don't put Amaz, necessarily on something else. He can play a lot of things now. I think he's gotten very comfortable since his olden priest days, or he can just play about any archetype. But if it's headlock, how does that really work? I mean, mid-range hunter versus Malygos Warlock is typically a coin flip. Against headlock, mid-range will take the win, I think, more often than not. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but against, I mean, it really depends on what Amaz brought at this point. I just wonder what you pin him on.
I don't think you can pick Amaz on anything. Like he's known for playing everything lately.
Yeah,
Like
we're
when
at
you,
that point. Yeah.
yeah. So I guess when you make assumption about Amaz is that he will not play a priest.
Not anymore. That's it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much gone,
It's
unfortunately.
not.
Now,
It's not DreamHack 2014.
with Rag Snipes getting carried through the entire tournament. Come on,
Yeah.
Ragnaros. There's a wild growth in Lostov's hand. Exciting start here. Oh man, that wild growth.
Is it Lostov? Well, yeah,
Well,
Lostov doesn't play.
doesn't
mage.
have a mage,
So yeah,
exactly.
you're right. So we got Amaz with mage, with a tempo mage, with low tips and mechanical yetis. So of course there will be flame wakers in there.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I don't see Echo Mage in tournaments very often. I see a lot more Tempo Mage in tournament than I see Echo, and I think Echo is still fine. Like, it's not an amazing deck. It's only got a really good, and funny enough, its best matchup is probably against the opposing Mage, which is like Tempo. But I wish I could see a bit more of it in tourneys. I guess it's just not consistent enough to bring. It's
I don't
not
think
unfair
it's
enough.
I don't think it's even about the consistency. It's more about the experience with the deck. Like this is one of the decks that you have to play really a lot to understand it and to make correct decisions. And when someone is like, okay, well, I can play Echo Mage today. I never heard that
Wake up.
from anyone, you know? Because
Right.
if you're not familiar with the deck, you will not pick it like for a tournament format at all.
Yeah, I can see that. So Lostov here gets a pass on turn 2. Amaz playing Tempo Mage without any tempo, so Wild Growth is going to happen. On a pretty decent turn, Lostov is going to be able to curve his Keeper of the Grove if need be on a smaller minion, or Azure Drake on the following turn afterwards. It's pretty sweet for him, getting a free turn against Tempo.
That's true.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Well, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is always something. The problem is, it will die to a Keeper.
Yeah,
And
this
a
is
really
Lostov's
big deal.
perfect outcome. He
Yeah.
couldn't have hoped better.
I don't think there's a better play on turn 4 against the Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's really insane.
I mean, it's just that he was stuck with those two keepers that he probably would not have played on their own on turn 4. But Amaz playing that Sorcerer Apprentice gave an opportunity, or an excuse rather, for Lostov to play that card.
Yep, definitely.
Well, that's a bit unfortunate for Lostov. Having
I
to
still
deal
think
with
it's just an Azure Drake and ignore the Yeti to go face. That's it. You
Amaz,
can pick up
Amaz is gonna be able
a...
to punish this pretty heavily though.
Well,
So is Amaz gonna
you
go
have no
for
option.
the board wipe, like Frostbolt, Arcane Missiles into Flame Cannon? Because that wipes the board. I mean, he could just attack Flame Cannon, right?
Yeah, I think attack Flame Cannon is way better, but then you have a quite an empty turn. Isn't that a problem? What about just a low tap instead and kill the Keeper? Yeah, and he actually does that. I think that's a correct decision because you have still your Azure Drake to pair it up with the Flame Cannon for 5 damage. So this is also great against Belchers, an example.
Right. In order to go through the Belchers, you have to have this, or you can use your ping plus low tip to go through a possible Jewel of the Claw. So Lostov here is going to be basically forced to respond slowly. But the thing is, Amaz's tempo isn't as heavy as he would have loved it. You know, a Mad Scientist early would have changed quite a bit. It's just that his early game wasn't that great. He's got a lot of removal spells and nothing to really use it with.
Well, this is kind of awkward. Like you will have to sacrifice your Azure Drake for the
Yeti?
I would guess.
If you
'Cause
pick
then
up
you have a
freeze, he's
swipe.
gonna- yeah.
You have a swipe for next turn. If you play Azure Drake this turn, Then
You can set up a good swipe next turn to
Yeah.
finish it off. Or you can play Keeper and Hero Power to kill the Mechanical Yeti. Again, not a terrible play.
Well, they are both really terrible when you see the mage hand, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now we know that this is really terrible.
Goodbye, board.
Yep. Kill the
You will be
keeper,
missed.
flame cannon, and probably a 5-drop from the Civil Portal. Oh, look at that!
Oh,
It's exactly
wow.
5-drop from the portal, and it's
This is
even-
exactly what he needed, and there's no BGH in Lostov's hand to handle this. He's gonna have to swipe, unfortunately for him.
Yeah.
But then again, that's not even enough to take care of Lothab.
Well, he will get a second. He will get a Starlock from the second Civil Portal, and that's it, right?
That he isn't constructed. You saw it here first. Unstable Portal from Amaz just carrying him. The thing is, Lostov really has no good way to deal with this. I mean, he can swipe to start damaging the minion. He can play Dr. Boom and sacrifice him to kill Stalag, which is mediocre.
I think the Dr. Boom is actually the best play here.
Unfortunately for him, it kind of is, yeah.
But think about it. You playing a Dr. Boom into a 7-4 minion is the best play out of the whole hand. How weird is that?
Well, I don't even know of a. I mean, I guess a Wrath plus Swipe combination would be like his best outcome. I just think that like starting next turn, he's gonna get a really big tempo. Like with a double swipe coming in, he can just basically turn the game around whenever he wants. It's just a matter of time before he gets it done. And now, well, could Amaz decide to just freeze the Dr. Boom and start pushing for face? No, that's too risky, I think. If the Druid gets a swipe play or something, it's going to be very painful.
Well, I can't really afford Druid to leave the Druid's minions up. But then you want to play the Mirror Entity.
Mirror Entity Frostbolt, how's that? Just like straight up Mirror Entity Frostbolt on Dr. Boom, and then you hit face with everything.
Yeah, I guess that's the best option.
But then Dr. Boom stays alive, and you still have to deal with it later. Oh man, all of these plays come with their own liabilities, so you've got to think those through. And I think the Azure Drake play is like a safe one since you're going to be playing the trade here. You can play as a trader. You can be the one who ends up trading with Dr. Boom.
But do you want to really to do this? It's really weak. Now this board seems really weak.
And he's gonna go for the freeze. All right. Well, Amaz is gonna play into that double swipe a little bit because, quite frankly, it's pretty much exactly what Lostov was hoping.
Yep.
The swipe is
Oh,
as
this
good as it could get.
This is devastating, I would say. The double swipe. The only way of Amaz doing a comeback here is probably a Flame Waker. Flame Waker into Spare Part, Arcane Missiles, and Mirror Entity, right? That's of 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. That's exactly 8 mana. Then you probably kill the Dr. Boom. And you still have a minion out and a Mirror Entity up. And you saw 2 Keepers being played already, so...
Yeah, they've already been played. So you're not really worried about that yet. So is Lostov gonna go for the double swipe, or is he gonna prefer to go for the Wrath plays? I guess it depends.
Well,
He's going for the boom bots first.
He can go Azure Drake Wrath, an example, where if the first bomb would have gone in a different outcome, but with a different outcome. But in this
Alright.
situation, I think he has to go for at least 1 swipe and a Wrath.
He might find. He doesn't test for the. Okay, he wants to cycle guaranteed. Doesn't want to make sure. He wants to make sure that he's gonna be able to cycle that Wrath. You know, that's a pretty good idea. That way, it's out of your hand, and you're gonna be able to get an extra card that's going to be more meaningful than a Wrath at this point of the game.
Is it a good idea? I would say that the Wrath for 3 damage might be more important, especially when you're out of Keepers at this point.
I don't know, with the swipe and Force of Nature and the Azure Drake to go with the swipe, I'm not too worried. Maybe I'm being too optimistic here for Lostov. Well, maybe I was.
I'm not saying it's really great for Lostov, but you know.
Wow.
Look at that.
He actually gets to play the Mirror Entity on the backhand. That is perfect. And the Zombie Chow,
Whoa.
the top deck to rule them all.
No, this is... I don't know, that could have been a better draw, and this is the first time I actually say that. The Zombie Chow is the best top deck that could have Amaz, Lost of God, Lost of Get from his deck.
I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It
the
goes.
blowback is now nullified. I mean, that's perfect.
It heals him for 5, and this is the most insane part. So you can play Force of Nature now, kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and kill the Yeti.
Yeah, and you leave the
Because
zombie
you're,
chow alive to kill afterwards. You're not
yeah,
worried
because
about much, really.
if he did count the cards in the Amaz hand, he knows that that's a spare part. So even top decking a single single fireball doesn't do anything at all.
So he's going to heal himself instead.
That's really weird. I don't know. I would say that Force of Nature would have been the best option here. Maybe even Swipe is better than the. Well,
Uh-oh.
Swipe is not better than Minion, but
Well,
this
he
might
picks up
end
the
turning
Archmage and
around.
Tinnitus.
Yeah. Imagine that if that spare part would have been a coolant.
No, what's interesting is he can actually get the Yeti to die and get a second spare part. So that's a 2 spare part Archmage with possible follow-ups. I think that's
This
what's
is-
really meaningful about this.
Yeah, this is really, really insane for Amaz here, and it's turning around slowly. Look at that. And this is killing the zombie chart too.
This is killing everything, and he's got a... Wow, okay. Well, the good thing there's a reversing switch there to go with the Force of Nature, but that's still quite a lot of damage. That is still quite a lot of damage coming
That's
his way.
12 damage, and there's still 2 fireballs in the deck.
Mhm.
And 1 Ancient of Law was used. Never mind.
So I guess you have to go for a reversing switch on Archmage plus Azure Drake Swipe. There's nothing else here to do. It's gonna heal you up, and you're gonna wipe the board.
Yeah, I guess that's the
No,
winning play.
he can't possibly do anything else.
No, no,
Lostov,
no.
please don't. Don't do this to me. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
This has to be the play. Like, he has the perfect answer for that. Imagine
No,
if-
it's godlike. That is like
Yeah.
the perfect combination of cards here.
Otherwise, he would have to use his hero power to kill off the Antonidas.
Yeah, I don't think that's something you really want to consider.
Mhm.
Well, Amaz still with a chance to come back in this game. Picks up the Dr. Boom off the top, and he's actually really on the top.
Whoa, that's one huge Dr. Boom, bro.
He's like, I'm gonna stay on the top of the deck. I'm not getting out of here. All right. Well, I don't know.
Dr. Boom. Oh, look at that. New game answer from the top.
You
Oh,
know
wow,
what? This
man.
is the day of top decks. Like the
Lostov
hands
is
almost
just-
don't matter.
Lostov just nailing it. You know, it's like Zombie Chow, Ancient of Law, Big Game
BGA.
Hunter.
Yeah. What do I need? Okay, let me just call it.
Insane. And what I wanted to bring up is the fact that he used the ref for the cycle, right? From the one point of view, it would be really helpful if he had a different spare part from the Yeti, right? Because then he would be not lacking damage to kill off Antonidas. But on the other hand, he will be not. He wouldn't be top decking in that order. Because he would have been, you know,
Right.
drawing one less.
That's right. One card less. So he would have been off the Zombie Chow. He would have been off the BGH. Everything would have
Yeah.
gone wrong for him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really hilarious how the games are turning sometimes. But the
Toshly.
top decks
hello.
are not bad, I would say.
Yeah, that's a.
Oh, he goes
I
for the
think,
clear. Oh, he hit.
Gets it.
Whoa.
So there is no lethal looming from that Force of Nature Savage Roar yet. I mean, it's coming next turn, just about. But
I think you should keep that Harrison Johns for the Blink-Tron.
yeah, the inevitable Blingtron, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody knows every mage and every player plays Blingtron. Those are the best, right? I mean, you're guaranteed to get a Doomhammer if you're playing aggro.
Yeah, they're both getting Doomhammers always. Like, I don't know for you, but when I play Blink-Tron, both players are getting the same weapons. It's like almost always. I don't know what are the odds, but
Yeah, I gave Paladin Sword of Justice once, and I really didn't like it. Wasn't a good day for me.
well,
So he's considering, do I just Druid of the Claw, Hero Power, and bring him down to 14 and then win? Or do I play 2 minions here with Harrison Jones and Druid of the Claw, and then Hero Power? I mean, go Force of Nature Savage Roar.
I think 2 minions are way better.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, one of those cards is a spare part. There's a Fireball. I mean, he's gonna be killing your minions. Is one thing you know.
Yeah, but look at that top deck, Arc and
Yeah.
Intellect. That's pretty. That's a really nasty one.
That's pretty brutal, actually.
Does the spare part timer manager, does it actually do anything? I don't think so.
You could get
You
another
kill the
spare
Hearthstone
part dodgefully
Jones.
if you need to freeze something.
Yeah, well, you can timer under the Azure Drake next turn if you. No, I mean the 2 turns after that. But this might be the end of the game anyway. At that point, you are at 15, and you know that your opponent is playing 40 combo because he used the Druid of the Claw in charge mode. So I guess this will be Emperor and Hero Power turn.
And Shade, yeah.
No,
I mean,
no shade. Just a Hero Power with Emperor.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a big. I mean, there's this possible drawback to playing just like playing the Shade anyway, because it might not live. It's not curving. You can always play it next turn anyway with the combo if you have to. There's like no way that Amaz can stop Lostov unless he picks up a Lotheb, and he's already played it earlier, so it's not gonna happen. He might play healing. I just don't know how.
Like a
Heal bot, like
random
a
heal bot?
single heal bot, a single heal bot. I mean, that is possible.
That would be really weird.
I have
But
seen
if he top
things.
decks that Azure from that I mean that healbot from the Azure Drake.
He
Oh, look
picks
at
up a
that.
taunt. Oh
A
wow! Oh my
taunt.
god, this is unreal.
And he can use that on the Mad Scientist.
To get the mirror entity.
Yep. Does it really
Or
matter?
Could be
That doesn't
counterspell.
really matter.
What if
But,
it's a counterspell?
Whoa.
If it's
No,
a
that-
counterspell, it's actually huge.
No, it's not. Because the combo will be already used. And you saw
Okay.
2 swipes, 1 innervate, and well, actually it will be a huge on a second Force of Nature top deck because the Savage Roar is not that important after the Force of Nature will be used. But at this point, I think this will be a turn when you just drop the. Look at that, 2,800 damage from the hand.
I mean, that sounds totally balanced. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all he needs is 1 minute to go through, and unless this is an ice block, unless this is an ice block or an ice barrier, Amaz is
I
well
would
dead.
have laughed my eyes off. Really.
But what if it is?
that's
If it is
if
Lothar,
that's
what
an
if it
ice
is?
block, I'm just laughing so hard right now. No, it's not.
And it isn't. I'm sad to say it's not an ice block. We won't get to see the
Never
mage
heard the mage.
shenanigans. Oh man, those levels. Sick plays, mate. So Lostov takes the first game against Amaz, proving that it wasn't a fluke that he got through the qualifiers and actually beat Orange. Got through the qualifiers, that is, and went through the group stage and beat Orange and 6-0. He takes Amaz 1-0 so far. There's going to be, obviously a best of 5, so it's not over by any means. With Hunter and Warlock left in his lineup, what do you think he's going to go for next? I like Hunter, but
Yeah, I would guess Hunter. By the way, that was a really long game. Like,
for a tempo mage game that's usually blowing out the druid out of the water, like sometimes it does happen when they get a crazy mirror entity start. That was a surprisingly long game. Yeah, it was. The
30
Archmage
minutes, I
Anthony
think.
plays and the Doctor Boom top deck and the Toshly top deck all contributed to making this a bit longer than I would have expected it to be.
yeah. Oh, we got a handlock. This is interesting.
Oh,
We don't see
man.
handlock yet, and it's not that popular anymore. I would
So,
say.
one question: if all the warlocks have a hand, are they all handlocks?
What if they have only one hand? Are they the slot machine?
What? Oh god. All right, so back to the game. Philosophical questions happening here on Star Ladder Tournament. I don't even know what it is. So we've got the handlock deck, as you said, from Lostov, playing that against Tempo Mage. Now, handlock versus Tempo Mage is usually going to take the game, depending on what they find. And that Ancient Watcher, Zombie Chow, again, very big cards to find against Tempo Mage, because you deny them the ability to abuse Mirror Entity, where they otherwise would be.
Well, you abuse also the Mad Scientist here because you kill the Mad Scientist and you play the Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
it.
I'm saying. Like, Mirror Entity just gets completely
Oh,
denied.
sorry, I didn't. There was some lagging, so I wasn't sure what did you say actually. But yeah, well, you can also use the silence for that, but I don't think that's so appealing as just killing the Mad Scientist and playing the Ancient Watcher into that.
No, Do you play it now? I mean, you might as well, right? Because the faster it's out, the faster you get to silence it or taunt it up, whatever it is. And Amaz's ability to use this Ancient Watcher is very unlikely. Unless
Well, he can get a taunt spare part.
Or a Salty Dog.
Or a Defensive August from a Stable Portal.
Oh man. Wailing Soul.
Oh, that would be sweet. Molten Giant, that's actually a good draw. Ragnaros, not so much.
Alright, welcome back.
Well, people are using either Jaraxxus or Ragnaros, and I guess both are fine in current metagame.
Yeah. So this is probably not the card that Amaz really wanted from the Unstable Portal because it's just so weak to Dark Bomb Coil. In general, it's weak to Coil plus combinations of Hellfires and whatnot.
Now the Coin Giant play.
I mean, he's got the choice of going for the Iron Beak Owl, trade the Watcher, but I think there's going to be a lot more value to be found later on into that Watcher.
Yes.
I mean, it's useless to just sacrifice it. It's pointless.
And you also lose the Silence, which is also huge against Tempo Mages. I guess this might be just Hellfire Coin, Mortal Coil.
But it lowers the amount of cards in your hand for that Giant. So Dark Bomb
yeah,
Coil...
sorry. Yeah, more Dark Bomb Coil is way better. What I'm talking even about. You're right.
Let's see if Amaz gets salty. Well, first of all, Lostov's gonna have to play if we have to wait to see if Amaz is salty. So does he tap first before he Dark Bomb, Coins Coil? That's my question. Do you tap? I mean, it's gonna leave you with the same amount of cards, and you've got the Molten, so I guess it's not a bad idea. And he's gonna sacrifice the Watcher.
Wow. I didn't suspect that, to be honest.
Not one bit. What is he keeping that Dark Bomb for?
And what is keeping the coin for? It's like only the Ragnaros is being so important here for the coin in theory.
Mountain Giant Coin Dark Bomb trade the Owl actually gets rid of an Azure Drake or a Mechanical Yeti that would have been played for tempo here. That might have been the foresight that he was running under because playing with the Mountain Giant or Drake here and coining out Dark Bomb allows him to trade up with the Owl, which usually just dies to a ping.
Yeah, but is that really that big of a problem when you have already a anti-heal bot in your hand, and you can make a really easy comeback with a handlock? That's like the one deck that is known for making the comebacks, right? You can just drop huge minions and that's it. So you don't really worry about the damage that you're taking first.
I don't know, I have to say I'm a bit surprised, but everybody plays Handlock differently. Like, I remember, and that's something that I remember from a long time ago. Handlock is a deck that's very complex, and there's very often about, one correct play to make with Handlock, but different people can argue day and night about which play is better. It's one of those decks that just has so many lines of play very often when the game is slow.
Yep.
Well, that has to die. Mana Worm's pretty sweet with,
Mana Worm, Flame Cannon, Frostbolt?
And Arcane.
No, wait. And Alchemist, you would have to play all three. I don't think that's worth it.
That's such an all-in, but then again, maybe just Mechanical Yeti Frostbolt is safer. Because that gives you a board, and then you can just stop the Giant. Or you can also not even bother with that and say, you know what? Screw this.
Second Twilight Drake. So you tap into Twilight Drake, I would say. You have
to kill a Yeti to get the full health, right? Because you get a spare part off of it, so you might as well. Unless you don't want to kill the Yeti and you just want a big Twilight Drake and you punch face for 8, which again, super defendable. It's a great play.
What? Yeah, well, I think he can go face in this situation. 8 damage to the face is putting your opponent in the clock.
Yeah, the Twilight Drake will absorb the like if there's random damage like flame cannons. Even if he clears the Giant, he won't clear the Drake. And if he doesn't clear the Drake, you can Immortal Coil plus it to kill anything with 5 health.
I wouldn't be surprised by attacking face here, really. And he actually doesn't because... Okay, never mind. I wanted to say that if he would have waited with the Twilight Drake if he trades for the Yeti first, but he actually trades it.
And the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? He could wait for turn 9 Archmage Sorcerers with 2 1-cost spells.
And for turn 10 with Frostbolt.
That's a
just fix.
lot of. That's really dangerous. If he lives until then, that's going to be very dangerous because the handlock will have to start, healing himself up really fast.
Yeah, but now Amaz has to find an answer to that to the dragon, and I think you just use Frostbolt on it. So you play Drake and Frostbolt and go face for 2, and that's it. You lose the Drake for the Twilight. I mean, both Drakes are being attacked, are attacking each other, and that's basically it.
Yeah, no,
So you
I
kind
think
of lose the Asher Drake, but it's not
right.
that
You
bad.
lose a Drake. It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! That's now the Ash the Water has actually some value in
This is
Fury.
insane. Well, oh my god. Well, he might keep it when Archmage Antonidas comes out to put pressure. I mean, it's obviously when you want to do it. And if Amaz makes the mistake of waiting forever, that could steal the Archmage straight up with Shadow Flame.
Yeah, but
So,
that's 10 mana. I don't think that
yeah.
Antonidas will be kept so long. Wait, who's first? Amaz is first. Yeah, so he can play turn 9 Apprentice with Antonidas and still have 1 turn to get the additional fireballs.
Oh man, Ancient Watcher value. The
Is
value
it?
is.
Well,
Does he even want to go for it? Like that's the.
yeah, I don't think so. That's the problem. Well, you can use the flame cannon first to see what's the outcome. But then if you hit the Drake, well, no, that makes no sense. If it hits Sylvanas, you can
Trade into
sacrifice a
it
man
and
of them.
then
Yeah.
give him. But do you
But
want to
if
give an
you-
Ancient Watcher to your opponent? Like, think about it. This is Handlock we're talking about. It's the
Yeah.
only class that can actually use an Ancient Watcher and pretty much obliterate the universe with it. Anyone
Okay, he
else is
didn't
kind
hit
of
it.
like, what am I gonna do with this? Oh god, less fireballs.
Yep. It's kind of painful.
Oh wow.
No, that's the worst outcome, I think. Well,
Well,
is
it's
it?
the same. It's the same as if it hit Sylvanas, except you get a bit more face damage, I guess.
I guess you don't attack into Sylvanas right now. You just go face.
And Amaz disagrees and gives his opponent back the Ancient Watcher that he spawned through the Mirror Entity, basically giving Lostov a faceless manipulator.
Yeah. Well, a faces manipulator with Fire Elemental's effect, because you dealt 3 damage, to a mana worm. I think you stopped talking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out here, like, what's the play? There's so many lines of play, and none of them is exceptionally amazing. It's just that you kind of want to get rid of that Sorcerer's Apprentice, but you're not going to Hellfire it anytime soon.
Now, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is only threatening if your opponent has an Antonidas in hand. And
Right.
would have he played it if he has 9 mana next turn when he actually pair it with the Antonidas? So it wasn't so clear, in my opinion.
Ah, there's a Toshli here, though. That's a pretty good top deck. Gonna give Archmage Antonidas 2 spare parts.
And 2
Awesome.
tones. 1
Yeah.
for each hand. 1 trumpet.
Archmage Antonidas, the musician. He's just, you know what? He used to study at the Kirin Tor Academy, and then he said, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go study music. I'm not made for this. I mean, Lostov is not out of options one bit here. He's got almost too many, in fact.
An Emperor is being drawn too.
So he
That's
probably
making a
wants to hold
difference
on
now.
to the heal bot for when the Mountain Giant can be played. So Belcher is probably gonna fall down here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And,
And those Ragnaros hits. Wow.
Ragnaros too strong.
Too strong, too strong.
Too strong. Very too strong.
How much damage they had? You get 3 spare parts. So if you spawn 3 fireballs, can you win the game?
With the heal bot coming up,
That's well, you have 15 damage 1 turn, and then 13 damage
12 on the
next
other one.
turn. So
that's exactly lethal, I
13.
think.
Yeah, that's 15 plus 13, so that's 28.
Yeah, 1 over lethal unless unless Lostov picks up just a tiny bit more healing.
Wow.
Just a tiny bit more healing.
But wait, is it? If he can, no, he won't get through, so he has to use the Shadow Flame on Ragnaros right now.
Oh, he could reversing switch his Drake and just trade.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, never mind.
Right. I think that'd be like the simpler way to go about it. Then you can play
Yeah,
Doctor
yeah,
Doom
definitely,
or
definitely.
Emperor Thorson.
I think Dr. Boom might be even better because then you have additional damage from the Hellfire. So you go Dr. Boom this turn.
And then
You
Rag guarantees to hit face. So
Yeah, so that's 8. That's 15 with Boom. 18, 21 with double attacks from Belcher, and then you have 3 from Hellfire, so that's 24. And then you have the bomb damage.
the deal damage. Yeah, you know what? I really like this play more than what I just said. I mean, the reversing switching the Drake is a brute force approach, but it makes no sense when you've got you're going to be floating mana and there's a Mortal Coil in your hand. This also keeps the
Right.
Drake alive for more damage.
So now it's 7, 9, 12, 20, 24, right? 7, 9, 12, 20. Yeah. Even if you ping the Twilight Drake, you're dead.
Yeah, Ragnaros is going to carry this. Oh man, Lostov is going to be... He's looking like he's going to take another game up against Amaz here.
Really well played.
Yeah, I mean, this is a show of strength from a player, I mean, we've heard nothing about. Maybe on the Russian scene, he's just like that super strong player. I'm not sure. I don't frequent the Russian Hearthstone community, unfortunately. And Amaz here going all in. Hoping that there's not 5 damage in Lostov's hand, but all Lostov has to do here is Hellfire after this.
Yeah.
Go full face, then Hellfire, and that should be guaranteed lethal. That's a beautiful lethal, too.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I like those Boombot Hellfire lethals. I remember there was a game where players Shadow Flamed a Boombot just for the extra damage. Is that guaranteed lethal though? I mean, worst case scenario, you can heal bot and stay alive. Oh yeah,
Well,
Ragnaros.
be about 12.
Yeah, that's right. There's a rag hit. Never mind.
Well,
there's no
takes the
skill with
game.
it. Right, Lostov takes 2-0, so I mean there's a third deck in his lineup, which is the Hunter deck, unless I'm mistaken, which leaves him up against Amaz's entire lineup. Do you bet on mid range?
I bet on mid range, and mid range can be really great against Tempo Mage, but at the same time, it can be really bad at it. Like
I think it's a coin flip. That's a matchup that I wouldn't give to either of the decks really.
Especially with the mirror images in the mage, but we didn't see it yet.
Right, Amaz might have cut some of the earlier game aggression and gone for a slower approach, which a lot of
Look at
people
that.
have
That's
done.
mirror image.
There's a
never mind.
Lepronome in Lostov's hand, so hybrid or face. There's a freezing trap, so it could be either or.
But Amaz this time has the coin. This is the first time I think he has the coin with the Tempo Mage, which is really important.
Yeah, it's like the second deck with Rogue that actually benefits from that, like as much as they do.
Look at that double Flamewaker mirror image.
Yeah, that turn 3 is going to be so strong for Amaz here. Flamewaker coin mirror image is going to be disgusting, especially since all the minions that the Hunter plays have a pretty low amount of health. That's 4 free damage. And that's Illyria, by the way. I would like to bring attention to the fact that this is a golden Illyria. Pay to win confirmed.
Well, you have to use the things like you can pay your health within the first 2 turns if you count on your lucky shots from the Flamewaker.
Wow, that's the best outcome for Lostov, though.
Exactly.
That Misha, man, that Misha. Is he gonna have to go slower and play with the Frostbolt here? Yeah, he's gonna do exactly that. I love that play here from Amaz. Realizing
there's option here.
Better set up the play later.
Now, the next thing for Amaz will be Flamewaker with mirror image, but will he go for the coin too? Like if the first two spells will not deal enough damage for the minions to be killed by the Flamewaker, then he will have to use the coin. And then if he will use the coin, he will lose the turn 5 Toshli. And this might be also a problem for him if he wants to stay like on curve.
I mean, he needs to pick up, I think, Hunter's Mark really to make sure that he can stay in here for a long time. So he's gonna make the trade with the Mad Scientist. Okay, so he's running more than just freezing traps. This is a snake trap.
Wow.
Not exactly impactful, and this 3 health from the 2 minions that, you know, Lostov's got on the board might not be enough to live through this, especially with the additional spare part that came out, giving 6 hits here to Amaz.
Double face.
What?
And it
Okay,
hits.
okay, and the Juggler might live through this onslaught.
I think you still do it. It's just too important. Wow.
Double face.
And he's out of spells.
Esports.
He's out of spells. What can he do now? Well, next time you drop the Yeti, I think, because you need the spells for the Flamewakers against the Hunter. But in
I'll
this
be honest with
situation,
you, I don't even know what happened here.
Lost of Hand is awful, to be honest. Like, he can't really do anything. Wow, and Antonidas. Well, this can seal the deal really easily.
Yeah, Amaz has got
But-
a really sick hand. He's curving up until the end. Lostov's got a pretty reactionary hand and no way to really push for damage. And at this point, when you've got a small hand facing off against the Tempo Mage who does have a hand, there's really few ways for you to catch up from that point. Like, it's gonna have to come down to the Mage just whiffing at every single turn. Ooh, nice pickup here.
I just want to say he needs to top deck the Unleash the Hounds. And look at that, Lost of killing it again. He's like, he almost always gets the answer he really needs at the time.
Lostov, best player in North America, Europe, Asia, worldwide. All hail, your new BlizzCon champion. Well,
Well,
I mean,
now
you could
use
kill
it.
Commander Drake and triple trade, right?
Yeah, I think you do that because Flamemaker is just too threatening to your board. Well, you can use Quick Shot instead, but
You're gonna lose your juggler if you need to trade.
now you have Snake Trap and Freezing Trap, so you can use Quick Shot to kill the Flamewaker and just go face with everything else. I'm not sure if...
So you let the Drake live? I mean, you know there's an Arcane Missiles in that deck, right? Arcane Missiles, however.
Well,
I'd
yeah.
be a little worried about that, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's definitely gonna be a Flamewaker turn. If it's not, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, that's 5 randomized damage and 1 pinged. 1 ping from the hero power, so I'm guessing this will be the turn to do that.
He's not gonna go with the Flamewaker. He's thinking of maybe just using the Yeti, but the thing is, if it doesn't kill the Juggler with the Arcane Missiles, then he can't play anything else. He's gonna have to play the Flamewaker afterwards. And he's taking the chance that
And
maybe he can play the
he hit
Yeti.
it.
And that...
Wow.
Alright, so that was a good idea, playing the Arcane Missiles first. Even if it leaves him up, like where it only hits the Juggler once, he can always ping it and then play Flamewaker without missing out on too much.
True.
Double Freezing Trap. Do you curve with Yeti and
I'm just
Flamewaker?
thinking about it.
Yeah. Like, our
What
mage is
about-
cute, but...
Well, you know that's probably not explosive, right? Well, you can attack first, because you need to trigger the traps at some point anyway. But you want to get the spare part from the Yeti too. I'm not sure. I think I would have attacked into it anyway. So first attack, then play a minion.
Amaz's, like, the loss of slow playing indicates that he's stuck with probably a duplicate of one of his traps, right? Like, since he's been holding on to so many cards for so many turns and he's been playing very passively, it might indicate that he's holding on to a second freezing. But if he's pushing for damage fast enough, could he raise Amaz here? He's got a quick shot and kill command.
Yeah, quick shot and kill command. That's 6 damage with 8 damage with hero power. So that's actually more than half, and that's also a leper gnome on the board already. So that's additional 2 damage. So he only needs to find like a Eagle Horn Bow next turn.
Archmage Antonidas Emergency Coolant. I buy this play. It's so good.
Does
Oh,
it
man.
set up a lethal next turn?
Maybe not, but you can always go for Sorcerer Apprentice and start spamming fireballs next turn, I guess.
But
It's
but
lethal next
Lostov
turn
can
unless-
can find the lethal. That's a problem for Amaz.
Oh, wow.
He can silence the leper gnome and go face.
You silence Archmage to not die?
Are you worried about that? I don't think so. Like, you hero power freezing trap. Oh wait, yeah, that's a good point. Now, if you use freezing trap, then you want to silence the Archmage.
Yeah,
Probably.
right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Silence Leopardome, go face. Lothar, you play too much Face Hunter. What is this? Those habits,
No,
it's like, I need to SM
that's
work. I've got an owl. That seems to work.
Dude, that was a troll. And I got also 35 salt from a pack, you know?
Yeah, I opened up a pack and I found
Hey, look at that.
35
He actually
salt.
used that.
Okay, he's gonna go for the kill command and not the silence play. Okay.
Actually, I don't like that at all.
I am in love with this play. This is beautiful. Just because I've never seen it. Just because I've never seen it.
But I don't know. I don't like that.
I know you don't. And
I don't like
don't
that
think
because he didn't set up for lethal. And like he
Well,
deals.
he's trying to get a quick shot cycle, man. He's gonna get it. You bet he's gonna cycle
But
quick shot into Wolf Rider.
You silence the Antonidas, play the freezing trap, deny 5 damage, you kill command his face, and he's at 10, you got a Leopardom out, so that's 8, then you have a quick shot to 5, and a hero power to 3. So if you draw in 2 cards a Eaglehorn bow, you win.
Wow, Amaz here is having to ping the minion. Well, I mean, maybe he just doesn't care for it, but he kind of has to. So Freezing Trap is gonna deny the Flame Waker next turn. Amaz trying to push as much damage as he can from it, and he
Look
picks
at
up
that!
the
He would have had the lethal this turn.
If he quick shots first, it's gonna be amusing.
But
What if
he would have the lethal this turn?
I think the play is to Eagle Hornbow into a quick shot into another quick shot.
That's 6, 9, 11 damage. It's still not enough. It's definitely not it.
Well, Juggler can trigger the Snake Trap still. There is
You
a
have to play
chance.
it. Yeah.
You have to vomit your hand, and you might still win next turn. You might still win. What?
What? Why wouldn't you play that?
At the worst, you distract your opponent from your face.
But you have to play it.
He might still win, by the way. Unless Amaz
But-
picks up Fireball from Azure Drake. Or Frostbolt to freeze the face.
Lotov doesn't cut it.
Yeah, that's
he-
it. That's game.
That's it.
That's good game.
Wow. So
Lostov's gonna
Lostov
take
is picking up a 3-0, even with a really odd turn, when he silences his own Leopardome.
I mean that's some good SM working right there. Lostov nailing it after beating Archon 6-0 3-0 and Amaz. Is he gonna be able to go up against Firebat? Because that's who he's up against next, right? In the next
Yes.
next time he's playing it's against Firebat. Is he just gonna go for like a triple 3-0 against the Archon's entire lineup in the event?
This
Like,
would be
is that
insane.
it?
Yeah, this would be insane if he actually kills all 3 members of Archon with a 3-0.
That is
I
just
don't know.
insane. God, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like the Archon Nemesis, Lostov.
It even fits the theme, you know, because he's from Russia. He's like the James Bond super villain.
Are you saying Amaz is James Bond?
And, well, okay.
So if we look at
Maybe Firebat.
the roster right now, we can see the Lostov and Firebat today winning their match. Firebat against Strifecrow. Amaz is going to be facing Strifecrow in the losers bracket. They're still not out of it. It's a double elimination conquest, best of 5 tournament. They can still get in the finals. They just have to climb back up to the top of the losers bracket. It's a long and grueling grind, I'll give you that, but they're not out of it yet, so they'll definitely have to try it out.
And we'll be casting tomorrow too, because the 1st of July, and we'll be casting the other matches. So Live Coach against Orange and Colento against Ties. This will be at 5 p.m. CSST as today, the same. And also we'll have a rebroadcast today after this matches. So we'll have some group stage matches if someone missed that, you can watch it after this commercial, I would say. But
Yeah, we're gonna have like a few rebroadcasts during the day, and then tomorrow again we're gonna keep going for the Starladder playoffs. So I guess yeah, that's pretty much it for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed the matches. They were pretty cool, and Lostov again. I can't wait to see more of this guy, the unknown player, racking up the wins in the league so far. So
one crucial information too, that the players that were going out of the group stage could have used different decks that in the group stage. So they actually changed lineups.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
they can't be overread, and I think Lostov's, nobody has data on him. Maybe that plays into his, he's a good player with the advantage of surprise that can also have played in his performance. So we'll be back tomorrow, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and until then, have a nice one.
You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to g2a.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. G2a.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.